Here we go. Hello and welcome to Extra Connections with James Lott Jr., my actually award nominated show as of 3 days ago. I'll talk about that in a second. Hi, I am James Lott Jr. of JLJ Media. I am the JLJ of JLJ Media. And I'm here tonight with another guest. It's time for more connection, as we say out there. I'm going to set up the chat room. So if anybody wants to come in and say hello or hola, please do. There we go. Okay, it's up. It's in there. Ready to go. And so my guest, she was on another show that I did. It was a group show. But it's time to do one-on-one. It's to know Leslie one-on-one without the fellas with us. We just us together. And so she's the host of Cafe con Leslie, of course. Let's welcome Leslie Colon. Hello, Leslie. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you? I'm so excited to be here. It's finally one-on-one time. I'm excited for you to get to know me and then for me to get to know you. I feel like has been needed.
Yeah, you know, it's been a long time coming, so we're finally doing it. It's finally happening. All right, so I'm doing a little church announcements. I always say this is JLJ Media, so while you are here, please be kind and hit the subscribe button. Of course, it's right down here somewhere. It's red, it's shiny, it's saying subscribe. So be nice to me and subscribe. I have over 35 shows in this network, and there's some fun ones, from soaps to soaps, grandparenthood, left-handedness, Star Wars, everything. So go ahead and subscribe to JLJ Media. If you are listening, hello, podcast listener. We are on every streaming platform search you can think of, from iHeartRadio to Spotify and Apple. We are there. We are here for you. We are here for you at JLJ Media. Also, if you're here, hello, Hayward Wong. He's in the chat room right now. You guys are coming in. Hit that like button. It does stuff for me. I don't know what it does, but it does something. So hit the like button if you're here, if you like this. If you don't like it, don't hit anything. Also, I want to give a special thank you. I was nominated for 3 Capital City Web Awards on Monday. I am a former winner. I won for my other shows 2 years ago. But this show got nominated. It's my first show on JLJ Media. We got nominated for Best Entertainment News Series.
Yay, congratulations.
Yes, so I'm very honored. JLJ Media is very happy. I'm overwhelmed, but I'm competing against myself. So I'm competing against another show I do called Breaking Into with James Lott Jr. So very interesting. So I don't know, Leslie, but this show got nominated. So my first show on JLJ Media has got nominated. So thank you, Capital City Web Awards. Don't know when they are. They're coming up in a couple of months, I think. But I'm nominated. Special shout out to, I'm nominated against our friend Flobo, who's nominated also.
Love it.
He's nominated. And then also my friends, Candice Mack, who's also part of JLJ Media, I'm nominated against her show, Take Two Radio, and Carla Renata, my former AfterBuzz co-host of GH Report. She's nominated for her show, The Curvy Critic. So all my friends and I are nominated. So it's kind of it's gonna be a fun award show. I'll let you guys know what's going on, but we're just so excited that this happened. And like last time, I probably won't have a speech prepared because I'm not. I always think I'm not going to win. I don't know how you are, Leslie, with stuff like that. Do you? If you think you're going to win things, I never think I'm going to win anything. So it's always
I think it's better when you actually win and you weren't expecting it. So then it comes from the heart. So I think it'll come from the heart.
Yes. My winning speech went viral 2 years ago. So yes, I had nothing planned. I didn't think I was going to win.
You're always going viral, aren't you?
I know, it's crazy. I'm like, this is the crazy thing. It's you know, so we get into this business, Leslie. Kind of, you came to AfterBuzz TV too, and we got into this business to do some hosting, see what happened. You like wrestling, you like sports, you have some interest, but this other stuff, you never know like what will hit. So I've been fortunate like 4 times this year. It's kind of weird. That it's hit. But for you, when you put out your show, Cafe con Leslie, you put out an episode. What are your expectations? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't really look at the views. If anything, it's more of like I want it for myself. Like I need to do this for myself. Yes, I obviously love for people to enjoy it, to watch it, but it's mostly because I am very early still in my career. I'm still very young. So it was more of a matter of either I stop and I give up and AfterBuzz close its doors. So it's like you figure it out and you still stay relevant, or you keep going. And even though at first I was so nervous, I feel so awkward, I like cringe looking back at those videos. But it's not just like for me to also, you know, impact someone. If I can make a difference in one person's life, like my job is complete. That's honestly the mission, or like what I plan to do is I love to help people. So even if it's like they can take away like one sentence or one piece of advice from my show, that's the biggest accomplishment for me. But also, it's also for me to stay disciplined in a way. I've learned a lot by having this channel. You know, life hits. I'm currently like at a pause, just because things happen, and I had to learn to be okay with that.
I think, trust me, the world's gonna still be here when you come back. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
I've had some breaks. I've had some breaks and well publicized breaks, and it happens. And then you come
Yeah.
back, you're re-energized. We have newer ideas,
Mm-hmm.
or you're just ready to go again, ready to pick up where you left off, and let's just do this. I mean,
Yeah. And it's obviously like for me, it's actually been health related. So my health is like my number one priority, because if I'm not healthy, there's no way that I can be, you know, active or doing my shows. So right now it's like it's okay to take a break. Just focus on getting better, and then you'll come back and you'll be okay. Because I'm just thankful to have like loyal people who are constantly watching me, who support me. Like I never expected, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 500 people, or whoever is watching, like I just appreciate every single one of like the viewers. So it means a lot to me.
Yeah, because like right now, I think of Kirsten Marie is in here. She's one of my biggest supporters. Haywood
Mm-hmm.
Wong is one of our
Haywood,
biggest supporters.
yeah.
So I mean, I didn't when I first started too. I never thought about that part of
Yeah.
this. I just thought I'm gonna do it, maybe meet some people, try to get my name out
Mm-hmm.
there. But I didn't think about actual like fans.
Yeah.
Right? Is
It's
that
weird. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird to say like I have fans. I never expected, I don't know, for something like that.
I try to tell people that who are not in the business like that. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's weird. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's like it's just it's well for me. Because I'm here in LA, and lots of I'll go
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, and we're on YouTube. You don't know who's watching on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. And they're like, "You're James Lott Jr. from the GH report, or whatever." They're like, "I'm like at Starbucks with my hair crazy, trying to like get a latte or whatever."
Right.
It's like, "Hi," and you're like, "Hi." It's nice to see you. You know, it's weird. You think famous people do that, not us. I mean, we're just
Right.
you know, we're podcast
Yeah,
folks,
for
but
sure.
we are somebody's somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter where you, like you said, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. Well, I just
Yeah.
want to say, I hope you're doing okay. I'm not going to pry and ask you what your business is, but I hope you're doing okay health wise.
Yeah, nothing serious. I guess I'll just say it. I was in a car accident like 3 years ago. And it really impacted me in the sense of like, one, I lost my ability to drive because I was just so anxious and paranoid about it. Two, I was obviously hurt physically. So I've been trying to fix, like, do rehab and like physical therapy and all this stuff for my neck, and nothing has been helping here. So it's been 3 years, and if anyone has ever been in pain, I think, I don't know if like you understand the fact that it doesn't only affect you physically, it affects you mentally, and also affects your emotions. So for me, I'm a very like happy person. I'm very outgoing. My family always says like you're the light of this house. If you're not here, like it's super quiet. And I hate, this is just me, I just hate being off. So I hated like being moody or kind of lashing out just because I'm not feeling good. So it just became a matter of like, I've done acupuncture, I've done physical therapy, I've gone like 3 procedures where I've gotten like injections and nothing has helped. So it kind of just became to the point where, and I used to work at Starbucks and that's very physical. So I just felt like everything was kind of going downhill. And my aunt, she went to a doctor in Tijuana, which is Mexico. And I've noticed in the past that if I can't figure out anything here, that's the best option. That's like the next step. So I kind of had already given up, and I thought to myself, like, this is just something you're constantly going to live with. I'd always like be cracking my neck, and I was just uncomfortable. And so my aunt went to that doctor. She talked to my sister about it. My sister's in the medical field, and we're always about vibes. I don't know, it's just something. She's like, I have a good feeling about this. She's like, you should definitely go see him. And I did. And obviously there's no insurance, so it kind of cost a bit, but it's worth it. Like in the past 3 months that I've been I've been going over there. I've been staying with my family in San Diego. Because pretty much what happens is your spine where your neck is, it's supposed to be curved, and mine's straight from the hip. So yeah, so it's a very painful. So I've constantly been in pain, and I've had to kind of just stop everything because of that. He's like, you really hurt yourself really bad. Luckily, thank God I didn't need surgery, because that would be even more complicated, and neck surgery is very delicate. So I've just been getting injections in my neck, like 4 different places where the nerves and everything's like super swollen. And I had a lot of inflammation. I actually went today for my 3rd one, so I'm a little swollen.
Okay,
but
yeah.
but this is finally helping.
Oh,
So I kind of had to stop, because for the first month I couldn't lift anything. I was like completely out of it. I was in bed. So slowly but surely I was kind of getting back to myself, but I still have to be very cautious. Like I can't really be on my own just yet in regards to like being home by myself, taking or buying groceries, carrying stuff, just those little things. So I'm currently like really taking care of myself. That's why I've had to pause and be like, because it's been 3 years of me being miserable, and this is finally working. So I'm trying to follow every single step, like literally the directions that the doctor is giving me. I'm not like going out of it. I was actually in a neck brace for the past 2 months. That's why I haven't been doing this. Or if I was, I would just take it off, because I didn't want, I don't know, it's just something with myself. So yeah, that's why I really haven't been active on my channel. One, because this has also been draining. Obviously, when you're that injured and things are trying to go back into place, you're kind of in more pain at first, then and then you start to feel better. So it's getting there. I'm getting there. I feel a huge difference, but I just had to take this time to really focus on my injury and to finally heal, so I can move forward and live my normal life again.
Well, I can. Oh, Joshua Alonso is in here. He already called me Teal Jamie already. Yes, he is. He's in here. Yes, it's I'm glad you shared that, because I publicly shared when I was paralyzed a few years ago. I had Bell's palsy. My left side paralyzed. So I don't feel like be in pain constantly. When you have pain management, your whole world is around just getting through that pain. That's moment to moment. I was trying to ask people to explain that to me. I go, it's just moment to moment. It's like you just, I forgot how to get out, find a position to sit.
Yes.
I'm just gonna lay down. I'm just gonna. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't understand exactly what you're going through. So the frustration of that, kind of builds up, and you're like not angry at the world, but like I know who I am. I'm always a happy person. I always want to talk to people, and then for my emotions and for me to not like feel like myself, it was definitely getting to me. So I'm like, I know I'm not like this. I don't want to be lashing out to like my family just because I'm in pain. And I wasn't mean, but it's just like you're just kind of annoyed in a way. I don't know so it's just been a little bit of a process, and I'm finally getting better. So I really decided to just make this my focus right now, so then I can come back and have no pain and really feel like a normal person again.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it's like always saying, I used to be a nurse also. So I used to be a nurse back when I did.
What haven't you done is my question.
I've done 10,000 things. So I know the physicality of stuff, but when you go through it yourself, then when you're the patient, it's very different, right?
Yeah.
I when you're in pain, I have friends who have major migraines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You lash out or because you're in pain. So it's like it's completely this psychological thing where it's like, yeah, people annoy me anyway. I mean, they do anyway. But like when you're in pain, though, it gets larger, it gets exacerbated. Like suddenly it's larger. So what probably wouldn't have gotten on your nerves that much normally, it suddenly does.
Yeah.
And they have to understand on some level, this is not really you so much.
Yeah.
It's like it's what's going on.
Exactly.
Uncomfortable because it's the pain management is tough, and it's when you have chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have for 3 years.
Yeah.
I had a back problem a while back because I had fallen and my 2 discs L4 and L5 slipped out. So I had to do therapy to put them back in, all that stuff, but no surgery. I tell you all, this is so folks, this is my advice. Not saying you have to go to a doctor, of course. But I'm just saying if you can try to avoid surgery when it comes to necks, backs,
Mm-hmm.
go first. If you need physical therapy, inject whatever, try that first. That should be one of your last resorts, because I've had friends who were worse off when they had surgery. There are areas not to play with. You need your neck. You need your
right.
You need your stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm very honored you're on the show today. That you still able to
yeah, I'm like, I've been saying no to a lot of people, but I was like, I'm not saying no to this. There's no way. We have to do this. I don't know. I just felt like we connected right away. It sucks that we finally met in a way, and we started to talk, but yeah, I'm like, I'm not missing this. I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be really good. You're going to ask the right questions, and I'm going to get to know you too. See, like, I didn't even talk about my injury at all. Nobody knew it. So there you go. That's why I've been MIA.
This is what I do.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. So we're connecting. But I want to ask you a little bit that.
Yeah.
Do you also think this also the inner strength that you're finding? Do you think that's because you come from a family who's strong? I think it's like, a strong kind of culture. So do you feel like that's part of your makeup, that's why you are pushing through?
Oh, definitely. Even since I was young, I guess I've always kind of dealt with health issues. And my mom tells me, like, she's like, you're a fighter. Like, you never give up. And I'm like, no, like, no matter what's kind of put in front of me. During this car accident, I was going through a lot. Like, I obviously lost my car. I lost where I was living, and I was still going to school, so I had to commute. So it's just a lot of things at once that kind of hit me. But I'm very blessed to say that I have a very strong support system with my family. We've always been one to never like leave each other, to always be there for one another. And we were raised by a single mom, and my mom has always like figured everything out. She struggled, but she never, like, if it meant her working 2 jobs, barely seeing my siblings and having them be with a babysitter most of the time, it was worth it, like, afterwards. And you see that, like, if you're constantly aware of like how you're growing up and those like sacrifices, so that never stays out of like my head. So I always knew, like for this, I never, sometimes, like, in my culture, it's easy to say, when I would say I'm going to be on TV, and people can be like, okay, sure. But it's not till you do it, then they're like, oh, wow. So and my family has never been one to tell me, like my immediate family, which is my siblings and my mom, they've never left my side. So I'm very blessed to say that I've always had a strong support system. Whether I had a crazy idea, like, apparently this was crazy to someone and I made it happen, then it's like, wow. And I always knew, like, even though someone might tell me that I can't do it, I need to be successful. Like, I'm first generation college student because my family and my siblings sacrifice so much to give me the good life that I have. Not that I feel like I have to pay them back, but I think it would be rewarding for them to see, like, me being successful, like everything kind of coming full circle, in the sense of like my older siblings not really having their own personal life and taking my little brother and I to raises at like 15, 16, and 18 years old. Like, they didn't have to do that for me and my little brother to have a better life. So I'm very blessed to have a really strong family who never tells me no, who, if I need anything like medical support, they're always there. Whether it's like my sister's like, you may not have come out of me, but like I always sense if something's wrong. And I've also dealt with like really bad anxiety, especially after that car accident. So it really, for me, it's been my support system that's kind of gotten me through all this. I know it might be difficult for some people who are alone, but just remember, you're never alone. Whether there's like a number you can call to just talk to someone on the internet, whether it's just venting to them and they might not respond, but it's letting it all out. So yeah, I'm just very blessed that my family and the way I was raised and my upbringing and culture, like, that's been the biggest impact on why I've been able to get through so much and like be a fighter and never give up.
Yeah, I can second that. And Josh, teasingly call me Tio Jaime and everything. I try to be that for my nieces and nephews and kids, and show them that by example. You have examples in front of you, like you just mentioned, who showed you that you can't give up. You have to push forward. You have to make it happen. So I try to do the same thing for people after me, or younger hosts, or like, just if I can do it, if I can do this stuff, you can do it too. Because I feel like we just we have all these ideas. We have all these things we want to do, but we're afraid to do them. We're afraid to start them. Everybody's stuck. I think Jack Farmer, our friend, calls it analysis paralysis. He's been on my show, and I love that whole thing where you think it to death, and then you just don't do it. Then you have a support system who says you shouldn't do it. Well, don't do that. That's scary. Or don't do that. You can't be on TV. And then you just go, well, you have to ignore all of that. Just go, I'm going to try it and see where it leads me. And you can, and I know you can attest to this. It can take you really wonderful places you've never thought you'd go. I mean, whether it's a guest you're interviewing, or whether you're at a red carpet somewhere. I guess you just never. This business is so wide that you just never know. And so you said someone like you from San Diego, Latina chick, young, college, that I can do this too. Though, like that, there's enough of us out there. Why can't Leslie Colon do it? Like, why not? I mean,
yeah. And I've always had that fear. I don't know why, but I'm always like, the phrase I would constantly be using is I'm scared. Like before the show, I'm scared. Before I interview someone, I'm scared. And it takes people like you, like Flobito, who's literally always motivating me, or like George or Mosa too. And I'm like, how do you guys believe more in me than like myself? It doesn't make any sense. But I learned to start to let that go. Like my mom is all about, like, if you manifest it, if you state that you're going to do it, it will happen. Like you just kind of have to have like positive thinking, and you have to say it out loud, and that's how it will happen. So I'm like, okay, I need to let go of all that, like, I'm afraid and negativity of like whatever might happen. And I think I've recently learned that, especially with this pandemic, to stop being afraid, take risks. Things are changing a lot right now. It's still, things are barely opening up. And at first I was like, everything's gone for me. I don't know where I'm going to go from here. And I'm slowly starting to get those calls like, hey, you worked for us before the pandemic. Would you like to come back? So I'll be doing PR events within the Latin industry again as a publicist. So that really, like, I just thought everything was over. And instead of thinking like that, I'm like, no, things will come, better things. Especially, again, I'm still very young. Afterbuzz was kind of like my safety net, because I'm like, I have zero experience. Who's gonna give me this platform? Who's not really gonna ask me questions and just let me do my thing? And that's what that was for me. So losing that, and again, this was something that people thought that I couldn't do. So you kind of panic and you get into that like fear where it's like, what's next? And I know a lot of people are going through this with the pandemic because they lost jobs or things just aren't coming back. So it's definitely been a learning experience for me going through this, but I feel like I've definitely grown as a person throughout this like whole experience of the pandemic.
It's, one of the beautiful things about getting older, but one of the beautiful things about getting older is that you just happen to live long enough that you start to learn this stuff. You start to learn what you're doing now. You end up learning it, that, life ebbs and flows. It goes up and down all the time. And we did go through something very unique last year that we all share. It's a shared experience. We all which is also unique. So like you, I think we all were scared. I mean, and see, for me, on the opposite end, because I am older, I was like, well, now what? I'm like, everything's gone. What do you not go for anything? What am I gonna do? And you figure it out. But that's kind of, I'll tell you, Leslie, there's times when I get nervous. Even me, James Lott Jr. gets nervous every once in a while. Not that often, but not that often, but every once in a while, even I get a little scared for an interview. I'll go, oh my God. Well, for example, the other night, I do the audio dramas. I produce certified and whatever. And it was our first recording in a month and a half, and I was nervous. Popping into Zoom and like, hi, like, oh my God. I'm like, hi everybody, oh my God. And I'm the narrator for this particular series. I flubbed my lines like 3 times because I was so nervous. And they all, everybody laugh and we make jokes about it. But I'm just telling you, you get nervous sometimes. But I always feel like nerves sometimes means you care. I think nerves sometimes means that you're present, that you want this to go well. And then once you sit down and start, you're fine. After that, you're like, fine.
I know. After I'm always like, it wasn't that bad. Why was I so scared? Or why was I so nervous? Like easily did it. This is why I'm here, because I'm meant to do this. But I guess, I mean, it's normal. Again, everyone goes through it, like you said. So it's just a matter of doing it. That's what I learned. Just do it. Don't, if you think too much about it, you're going to stop yourself. So I've just learned to just go for it. And the thing is, like, okay, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Something better will come. It wasn't meant for you.
That's true. Now I'm going to ask you a little bit about, so you said the PR thing. Is it Latin events in San Diego or LA?
No, it's in LA actually.
Okay.
So I do live permanently in LA. Like I have my own apartment there. But I'm not staying there currently because again, I need help. So I've been here with my mom and my siblings in San Diego. So that's helped. That's why I'm so focused on getting better, because starting July, like it's event after event, or after like just experiences too. I don't really go out or anything like that. So I'm
like, I don't go out.
I'm like learning to, have fun a little. This is my time to live life. So I'm learning to kind of do that. And I'm coming out of my shell this year. So that's why I'm taking these months, like just get better, because there's a lot that's going to come and I need to be good physically, mentally, everything to get through it. So yeah, these PR events, I'm so blessed to say that I run into people that are genuine, that really want to help me, and they can see that I'm not just like trying to either take someone's money, or I'm here to like take an opportunity. Like I'm here because I genuinely care. That's just the type of person. Again, I think anyone can feel someone's like energy or how they are. Like I'm very big on like observing people's personality and how they act. So I was lucky enough to meet Mariluz, who is Mariluz Gonzalez. She is the owner of Vesper Public Relations. She works for Sony Music, Fonovisa, so she does PR for all the Latin artists there. And she's taught me a lot. She's taught me a lot about the industry, even though it's on the PR side, which I did get my degree for. I'm learning both, being in front of the camera and then the PR side as well. So being kind of under her wing, like I'm her assistant, I'm learning about the Latin industry, things that I didn't know, such as like looks still matter, unfortunately. So just little things like that, where she's like, you went to school, you're really smart. Don't let this industry where there's a lot of people who will be like, just do this for me and then I'll get you in, or a lot of still that like machismo, which is kind of like men manipulating women in a sense. So yeah, she's been taught me how to watch out for that, how to take care of myself, in the sense of like, someone needs to don't let someone give you a job for your looks. Let someone give you a job for how you work, how smart you are. And she's like, you have all that. So don't let just, these people who are easily wanting to offer these things take over what, your career could be. So I learned a lot about like which networks to go for, which to not.
Where's my teacup? Oh, she sells some teacup. My teacup.
It's just like, well, either way, Hollywood is messy. Like people sometimes don't have the best interest for one another. It's more about like money and opportunities. And again, I have a big heart, but also like, she's like, you need to be honest. She's like, you can't let anyone walk over you. She's like, you need to learn how to stand up for yourself. So I've learned a lot from her. I've worked events such as like the East LA Parade. So I've set up the media for that, which was so cool. Like I was able to meet Andy Ruiz, a famous boxer, Mexican boxer. I was able to meet like some reporters from the Chargers, and I love football. So it was like, it's kind of surreal for me just to be part of like these events. I was able to work a fashion show where like Alejandra Espinosa was there, and I grew up seeing her on TV, like hosting award shows, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want to do. So kind of seeing like these celebrities in person and working these events, I'm like, I never thought in a million years I would be doing this. I always knew for some reason since I was little that I wanted to be in LA, be on TV, and I knew I was going to talk because that was my only talent. But yeah, so the PR is in LA, and I work various events, and it's a lot of like culture things too, like culture festivals, concerts. So I'm also learning about like different Latin cultures. Because again, before moving to LA, I was very like closed-minded. I've talked to Josh about this before, where I was like, I just thought the majority was just Mexicans because I'm next to the border.
Oh, you're next to, you're next
that's what I grew up around. And being in LA, I learned to ask, where's your family from? Not just assume. That's the problem that I had. And I learned, not that I ever insulted anyone, but it was just the way where I grew up. That's kind of like all I knew. So I've learned to appreciate different Latin cultures, to learn about them. And it's really beautiful to see all that, especially in LA where everyone just comes together. It doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah. No, it's a good point because, you know, Puerto Rican here, of course.
Well,
I did. So, folks, I did a show about a month or so ago where I had 4 people, including her, all different Latin cultures. We had like Guatemalan, El Salvadorian, we had Peruvian, Guatemalan, and me. So it was very different. And that's the thing about Los Angeles. I know it comes from New York. There's you know, over there, it's all the Indian, you know, cultures over there that are Latin or not. So I know that it's we have to remind ourselves that everybody's not just one thing.
Right.
We're not all the same.
Yeah.
Not at all. But I do want to ask you, because you're leading into something that I was going to ask you, and just your opinion on anyway, if you have one. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a big Hamilton and In the Heights fan. I did see the musical on Broadway years ago.
I saw that it's coming out. Or it came out.
It came out. So I saw where they had the Afro Latinas who were darker, were in the stage production. But on the movie, apparently, I haven't watched the movie yet, but it's not that way. There's been a lot of criticism about the light skin stuff. You touched a little bit about on the pretty side, because it's a shame that Leslie's so pretty. I mean, like,
oh my God, stop! I'm on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to the Latin industry.
I know. I'm saying we know she's pretty. We get it. No, but you know, you're not Anglo looking. You're brown. I just wondered, do you have any? I mean, we noticed that in like all the Latin TV shows that I see on TV, even my friends at LXTV, no shade to them, they're doing some good work, but like they're all light skinned and skinny nosed and straight
blue eyes.
So and blue eyes. And yes, we come that way. I mean, that's the whole thing is we do come the spectrum. Yeah. I get it. But what are your feelings kind of on the light skin, dark skin kind of, or the ethnic versus not ethnic looking way on television?
It's definitely hard because although you know, I appreciate you saying I'm pretty, I'm still looked at like I've dark hair, dark features, so I'm dark in a sense for this industry. So it's something that I've had to learn how to love. At first I was always very like not that I hated myself, but I was always different. If you see my mom has like hazel eyes. She's super light skinned. She's white. And all my mom's side of the family is that. My grandpa is light skinned, blue eyes. So everyone kind of got those features. And then there's me, you know?
Here you come. Here's Leslie, everybody. Come on, Cafe con Leslie, all right? Like, like for real.
So it's always, and it's funny because my little brother would say this when he was little. He's like, because my dad is very dark. He would always be like, my dad is the coffee and my mom is the milk, and then they mix together. And that's how him and I came out.
Yes.
So it's something I've learned to appreciate. Like my sisters always tell me, like, I love your skin color. Like, just love it, you know, appreciate it. Not that I'm against anything or anything like that, but being around, you know, a culture where they tell you this is what's right or accepted, it makes you feel insecure. So I understand, especially now, especially with Afro Latinas, it's hard. How do you identify yourself? You know, you're in the middle. And I understand that in the sense of like, I was born here, but I'm still very close to my Mexican culture. Am I fully accepted here? No. Am I fully accepted in Mexico? No. So it's like, you're in the middle. And that's what I feel like. And there's still like this, I don't know if it's hate, but people aren't accepting Afro Latinas, and I don't understand what's wrong with it. It's like the mix of two beautiful cultures. So what's the difference? So I do think, you know, that should be talked about more. I feel like now slowly, you know, women are identifying themselves like that. And it opens the doors. Again, you never know who's watching. for them to little girls to appreciate, like, yeah, she looks like me. It's okay to be both. It's okay to be in the middle. So don't let like these people on TV impact the way you feel, how you look at yourself. Again, it's hard. I grew up with it. Nobody ever told me anything, but
Right.
you watch novelas
Right.
and
Hello.
everyone looks like that.
Hello. I mean,
So I think just from observing all that, you naturally grow to kind of be insecure in a way of like, am I pretty enough? Will I ever be accepted? You know, especially for me in this world of entertainment. I mean, I saw it myself. I've experienced it in the sense of like, okay, you're not blonde, you're not white,
exactly.
you can get by. I was always still working hard, but I never got the opportunities that everyone else got. So it does get in your head. It does make you feel insecure. So I just really hope that, people like big celebrities or actors or actresses, anyone who just starts to identify themselves like that, and it's like everyone starts to be okay with it. And that way, whether it's one person, it's two people, 10, someone is still looking up to you, and eventually like we can make a difference. So I just hope slowly that becomes more accepted, because it really does mess with your mind as you're growing up.
Yeah, it's you're right about celebrities. Cardi B is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like she's one of the biggest stars in the world right now. It's like, hello, you look at her and she is, and Amara Negra, she's another one. There's these these beautiful darker women who are either Dominican or Puerto Rican or Cuban or whatever there, and I tell people all the time, I go, when you go to like towards the equator, like there's a lot of dark Brazilians, dark Americans, in parts of Mexico, there are dark Mexicans.
Oh yeah.
My friend Michelle, her mother's full Mexican, looks like a black woman. Like when I first met her, I thought, is your mother black? And then her mother said she gets it all the time. She goes,
and that's how my dad is actually, believe it or not.
I know, I believe it. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. So I've always kind of had to grow to love myself. And again, it's people like, I love Cardi B. Like I look up to her and I'm like, yeah, like that's so cool. So it's like just embracing who you are and loving yourself is a big key. And again, I think it's something that you learn as you grow up. I've been kind of discovering that part of me recently, like loving myself, being okay with that. Again, because the sad part also about my culture is the weight thing.
I was going to mention that. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So that's the second one that as a woman, guys don't get this. As a woman, you have to deal with this. And I've dealt with it recently. I never thought I was going to get comments like, you gain weight or you're getting fat. Like, excuse me?
Right.
Like, who are you to talk? And it comes from family. So again, I've dealt with health issues in the past. I've always been really skinny. Like I think before college, I never passed 100 pounds. So yeah, so I've always been super skinny. But me, myself, I hated that. Like I hate looking back at pictures like that. Cause I'm like, I look sick skinny. I don't look like good skinny. So now that I've kind of grown into like my woman body, that I've gained hips here, these little things, like everyone's like, you gain weight, like you're not, because my nickname is actually La Flaca because I've always been skinny. Yeah. So one of my like aunts the other day told me like ex Flaca, and I'm like,
dang.
And I'm not a person like, I don't like confrontation. I just kind of ignore it. But obviously it does get under my skin. Like I'm happy with myself. Like I feel great right now. Cause again, I've always had an insecurity in the sense of like I was too skinny. Like I felt like sick skinny. So I'm really happy with myself. Obviously, yes, you have to take care of yourself. I'm learning to do that. A walk doesn't hurt. Again, for health purposes, in the sense of like exercising helps you with your health. So I'm learning, and I've never had to do it. It sounds bad. I hate it. I hate talking about it.
But it's true. It's true. So,
but that's like my truth and like my experience. I know there's people who could deal with the complete opposite. But for me, it was that. So I'm like, okay, if you're happy with yourself, don't let people's comments get to you. Learn to love yourself. And if you feel like you want to work on something, work on it because you want to do it, not because someone else is telling you that you should do it.
Yes. Well, also part of the problem with the Latina culture is, or Latin culture, and men do, is then we also objectify the women who do have curves.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, I want that big ass, I want the big hips, and so all of a sudden then it's like, so either you need to be super skinny or be super curvy. It's
Or
like,
or both. Like now
or both.
people are getting BBLs left and right.
I
Like,
know.
like plastic surgery is a trend now.
I
And
know.
I'm just like, wow.
You have this small waist. I want an hourglass figure. So I want small waist, but big boobs, big butt, big hips. So we're objectifying that now too, because that's suddenly a Latin thing. Suddenly, oh yeah, she's a spicy Latina. She got big, It's like, well, that's not good either. I mean, it's like, if you are that way, that's fine. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like, well, each one is like, it's like really weird. So I feel bad for women, period, because again, I came to this business in my 40s. So I wasn't trying to compete with the young guys at the Wall Sport app, stuff. But I do get away with stuff because I'm a man. I got male privilege. I can have this goatee with gray in it. Anything is sexy, right? A woman can have gray hair because then that's not sexy. That's
right.
Like,
and then for us, it's like the intersectionality of it. Like me, I'm Latina, I'm Mexican, I'm dark skinned, but I'm also a woman. So it's like you get both and you're never right. So it's really hard. But again, my only thing to anyone who's watching is love yourself. If you're happy with yourself, don't let anyone else, don't change for anyone else. If you want to make a change for yourself, do it because you want to, not because someone else is telling you to.
Yeah, casting directors.
Nope.
There's a million stories out there where people still get discovered, whoever they are. I always like when you stay close to your truth, then great things happen. I always feel like that's kind of the thing. So, or a boyfriend. Oh, let no man tell you that I would stay with you if you do this. Well, bye. Sorry. Bye. See
There's a million people in this world.
There is. It's not easy, folks. I'm telling you, it's not easy.
No.
But I'd rather be alone, which is a very Whitney Houston song. She says, I'd rather be alone than unhappy. And I love that song. Like, just one thing, because there's a lot of a lot of women who are in relationships, they're totally unhappy, but they're trying to please their man. But it comes from looks. And you're like, but it's never enough.
Right.
But you never ask a man, why don't you do this and I'll stay with you? Like they go by. They don't care.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I hope we're evolving a lot right now in some sense. There's just a lot of work to do.
There is, and there is, and I think, and in some ways, there's some work that's happening. It's small, it's always a little small, incremental work that's happening. There are, and I always say this all the time, go out there and find people. There are people out there who are casting Afro-Latinas and Afro-Latinos. There are people who they may not be huge, but they're out there to support them so they can grow. Like, what are they doing? I say here on JLJ Media, we serve everyone. I mean, everyone is welcome here. So support me. Like support us, support her and her show. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you have to kind of go, not just go for what they tell you. Like if you read Entertainment Weekly or Variety, they'll say these are 5 shows to watch. Now, mind you, I probably watch them; they're probably good. But like, find the ones that they're not mentioning because they're mentioning those 5 for a reason. You don't know what the reason is sometimes, but there's a reason. But there might be. I found shows that like on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account, go on there and just look at some of the other stuff that's on there. Like they say, they recommend these. Look at those. I found some great shows. There's one show called It's Bruno, or I think it's called It's Bruno, about this guy who's Dominican with his dog in New York. The series is hilarious and it's so good. It's like 10 episodes. I just haven't found it, but I saw a guy, another Latino guy from New York, that produced, wrote this whole thing. And like, why not? Check it out.
Yeah.
I've been telling people all about it because that's how you do it. It's like, then go support people, or like Leslie and I are doing, make it happen.
Yeah.
The fact that we're on doing that you and I do this together, this probably would have happened 10 years ago. Maybe not. So at least so we're making steps towards making that happen.
Exactly.
What do you think? If you could look into a crystal ball. The crystal ball. Right now in your life, where you're at in your life right now, what are a couple of things that immediately you would like to have happen for you? I know that get rid of the pain, that's number one. But what are a couple other things you'd like to have happen for you?
Definitely travel. I didn't grow up struggling, but I didn't grow up having money to travel, camp. I don't even know how to swim. Like that's that tells you
Oh,
a lot.
swim. Oh my
Like, yeah,
goodness.
I know. I need to learn. But I didn't have that opportunity to explore. I definitely want to explore again, learn different cultures, visit, see different things. So traveling is definitely something that I hope to happen. And that's why I kind of got into this business because a lot of people can travel with work.
You do.
So I hope to one day work for a football team or just be not even like narrow it down, but to be in a job where one, I'm appreciated and I love what I'm doing. So that's one thing I definitely hope for is job security in a sense, because I'm kind of, not really there yet. So definitely in a where my career has expanded and I'm happy. Like that's the key thing is for me to be happy. I don't want to be in a place where I'm working I'm miserable because I've already gone through that just because I want an opportunity. That's not how it should be. It's okay to say no if you feel like it's not meant for you. So that eventually I would like to settle down and have kids. That's way later.
That's way later, girl. Way later, but yeah.
Way later. Right now it's more of like one, having fun, be a little bit more adventurous. I'm boring. Two, but yeah, mostly like travel and be in a place where, and I can also take care of my family, that I can be financially stable to take care of my family or give my mom that dream of, she's always wanted a house. We've lived in this apartment for since I was born. Yeah, so that's one of her dreams, to have a house. So just to achieve those things that will not only mean a lot to me, but it'll just be everything for me to finally be able to be with my mom. Like, here, I got you this house. This is for you, and I did it. Like that would be me doing it. So yeah, just a couple of those things. But eventually,
we're going to use this as a time capsule. So we're going to manifest it. You said
yes,
it out loud.
It will happen.
And so 5-10 years from now, I'm going to say, girl, this is what you said 5-10 years ago.
Yes.
Things happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. It will happen. Definitely.
It will.
And yeah, it's just, again, just me being happy and all these elements in life to come together in the sense of like my dog, my family, myself, and yeah, just to be stable, happy, and eventually be married and have kids and everything that they expect you to do.
Yeah. Okay. So as I start wrapping it up a little bit, I thank you for your time, of course. I want you to tell me a couple reasons why you and Flobito hit it off. Why you're friends.
I
call him.
Yeah, he's my primo. I think again, I was the first time I met Flobito, we were doing Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I had never been in a wrestling show that had to do with just wrestling. I did reality wrestling show, Total Divas, Total Bella. So that's a different audience in a sense. Yeah. But I knew in the wrestling world, if they don't like you, they don't like you. So I was afraid of like me coming off as another girl that doesn't know wrestling, a girl that's not really like here for that, or not that people would dislike me, but to kind of, I don't know, to not show like my passion about it. And he was sitting next to me. I was with George. Again, George, honestly, if it wasn't for George or Phil, I wouldn't even be talking about wrestling in front of a camera.
Why you guys hit off too? Like, why? So
yeah.
So they both hit
so
off.
I think more that sense of like, I felt they made me feel comfortable. They made me feel like they believed in me, and they generally do, not just like made me feel like they did, and supported me. And Flobito has never told me no. I always go to him for any advice, and he's just always been there. And again, it's him being genuine, him being caring, and just not seeing me as just a random girl at AfterBuzz who's only 23 years old and doesn't know anything that she's doing. So just, I guess, that acceptance, both from George. I met George at a wrestling show. He offered me tickets. I didn't even know him. I'm like, what the heck? How does this guy want to offer me tickets? And I've never even been to a local wrestling show. So that acceptance in that world, and then that acceptance, just me as a human being. And then just those things in common, like them understanding where I grew up or the struggles, that we kind of all go through, that we understand. So just those similarities. And I look at George and Flobito like my older brothers, like family, like just in addition to my family who constantly believe in me, constantly look out for me, and always wish me the best. So just having their positive words and just them motivating me, like I think that's why I got so close to them, because they've always been there since day one without even knowing me, and that's rare to find.
Oh, yeah. Very rare. Yes, they would. I do know how that is with the soap world. So yes, I do know. There are some folks who hate the F out of me, and I don't care. I'm like, I'm on TV. I don't care. Hate me.
Yeah. So but just as a woman in wrestling, it's been hard. It's been hard to one, be accepted, and two, see women doing things that the men can. So you do get scared. So luckily I've been very blessed that I haven't gotten much hate. I've gotten one hater. And at first I freaked out. I was like, what the heck?
Yes, it's weird at first.
And then Flobito's like, you've made it. That's how you know you made it.
Yeah, you made it. You're a hater.
And it had to do with wrestling, actually. More reality.
See?
But yeah, so just I've been lucky to, again, them understanding me, being there for me, like genuinely. And again, I don't know. You can easily be looked at like, oh, this is just another girl, like, or I want to talk to her for different reasons. Nobody has ever disrespected me like that. None of the guys or anything like that. So I know that they're genuinely care for me, and they're not gonna ever like cross the line or anything like that.
And George and Flo are good guys. They're good guys.
Yeah.
And I know them too, so they're both good guys. So you're very fortunate. Like I said, it's not that common.
Yeah. Again, I'm very blessed to be around the people that I am, to have the support system that I do, and to meet people who are genuine and real and not just putting up a front to be popular or anything like that. Like you're genuine. So that's why I think we clicked.
Yes. I'm Leslie, I am me all the time. I feel the thing is, I think I also grew up in LA and Southern California, in this town. I know what's real and what isn't. Yeah. I know it's like, and literally, yes, I'm having a good year this year. We say that I'm having a good year. But next year could be horrible. I mean, you just never know. So I don't get too big for myself. I just know that you can get knocked down in a second. You know this too. You get knocked down for a second, like literally knocked down for a second, and then suddenly you're nobody again. So I just know that this town, there's a lot of fake puffing up to people, and then they tear you down. And it's like you have to stay even. I'm just me, 24/7, folks. It's just me. James
I remember whoever's there during the ups, but also during the downs, especially during the downs, and are there after like good things happen. Those are the real people, not just when you're successful.
I totally agree with that. Leslie Colon, thanks for being on the show. Through the pain that you're going through, I'm so glad you were able to sit with me for this hour.
We have to continue this conversation. We will on my show. I'm going to have a big premiere with the best person ever who's nominated, and you're going to win. So I'll be like, award-winning.
Yeah.
So
your lips to God's orejas. I will take it. I'm like, that's complete. I will take it. I will take it. So if you want to see her older episodes, like I would call Leslie, where can they find those?
YouTube.com/Leslie Colon. Just check me out. There's actually one recent. It's only been a month since my last episode.
Check them out, folks. Check them out. Subscribe to her channel, people.
Yes, subscribe. Wrestling, non-wrestling, just conversations about life. Anything you can take from. Remember, just because we're on here doesn't mean we're not human. We're all going through it. So
thank you. I
just want to inspire someone or just come together.
Yes. And of course, I am where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. I've said that 8,000 times now. James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. Please, everybody, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, be kind to your community. Always walk with care and compassion and concern. I think it's the best way to go. And again, we're trying to connect. That's what Extra Connections is all about. It's all about connecting with people. So make an effort to connect with somebody today. Now that we're all vaccinated and starting to get back out there again. So connect safely. I'll say that. Connect safely. Everyone, please have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.